parte errada. Hi guys, my name is Charlene, I'm an illustrator, and on this channel I talk about my journey as an illustrator, show the behind the scenes, and sometimes I also post travel videos, and this is one of them. I took a trip to Belgium in January this year. Yeah, January, it's been a while, but I finally got around to editing and posting this video. Basically, my husband and I went to Belgium for 3 days and 2 nights. Our goal was to visit a friend who lives there and explore Brussels, which is Belgium's capital, and Ghent, a medieval city our friend recommended. We arrived in Brussels at 1:30 p.m. on a Friday, but we only started exploring the city around 3 p.m. because we had to drop off our backpacks at the hotel and grab some lunch first. My first impressions of the city, it was a bit dirty, and I found the unpainted subway trains kinda different. My reference is Berlin's subway, where all the trains are bright yellow, so this felt strange, but maybe because I don't have so much reference about subway trains. Even though the city seemed a little dirty, I loved the architecture. And there were still some Christmas decorations, at least I think they were, I'm not sure, which made everything look really cute. But what surprised me the most was the size of the main square, known as Grand Place. It's huge, and when you got there, the city lights had just turned it on because it was getting dark, which made everything even prettier. At the square, we met up our friend and went for some beers and dinner because, well, Belgium is famous for its beers and also for its food, especially fries, waffles, and chocolate. One thing I really liked about Brussels is that the historic center has a bunch of cool bars and restaurants, and since it's pretty small, we can walk everywhere. On Saturday, we got up early to go to Ghent. Brussels was super foggy and it was freezing. Actually, all the 3 days of our trip were cold and cloudy. Our friend said we were lucky, though, because it usually rains. It took us about half an hour to get to Ghent, and when we arrived there, we took a tram to the historic center, and basically we spent the whole day walking around, exploring the city. I loved this area with these massive churches. As you can see, they are huge and full of details. As we kept walking, we crossed this bridge over a canal, which kind of reminded me of Copenhagen. I imagine this canal gets packed with people during the summer. By the way, I have a video about that trip here on my channel, so if you want to watch it, just go to the description down below. I left the link there. And this is the Castle of the Counts, a well-preserved 10th century moated castle. We got an audio tour to explore this place, which helped us to understand how each room was used and some of the castle's history. One of the rooms had a collection of medieval weapons, like swords, daggers, axes, and all that stuff that you see in a medieval movie or that a knight wear. We also explored the outside and rooftop of the castle, which gave us an amazing view of the city. Check out these windows. From far away, you can't see through them, but when you get up close, you can see outside and observe and gossip about what you see. I think this was a common thing for people living in the castle because there were even built-in spots by the windows for sitting. The stories we heard about this castle weren't exactly cheerful. There is this pit where criminals were kept until their trials, or sometimes just left there until they, well, didn't make it. Outside the castle, we also saw a room displaying torture devices that were used on prisoners. So yeah, not the happiest room of this castle. After exploring that section, we walked around the back of the castle, where there is a garden, and took a look on the small church of the castle. I loved doing this castle tour. Actually, I love medieval places and castles. And because of that, also, I love Tallinn, the capital of Estonia. We went there one time, not one time, I think it was two, and the city is beautiful there also. If I have an opportunity to go there again, for sure I will record that city. It's beautiful if you like medieval cities like me. So yeah, if you have opportunity, just go there. But okay, back to the Ghent trip. After the castle, we stopped at a bar to grab a beer and warm up because we were getting cold, like really cold. Later, we walked around Ghent a bit more and then decided to head back to Brussels. On the last day of the trip, we woke up early, around 8 a.m., so we could explore a bit more before heading to the airport at 1 p.m. Because our flight back to Berlin was at 4:30 p.m. and yeah, it's better to go to airport early to not lose the flight. While walking around, we passed by two churches. The first one we only took a look from the outside, but the second one was open and there was a mass going on. So we went inside to check it out and we were surprised to hear live music. I think this was the first time I ever heard a live organ performance, so it was really cool. We kept walking and saw some beautiful buildings and also some buildings with illustrations on the outside. By the way, Brussels is known for being the birthplace of the Tintin comics, and you can spot several murals around the city. And there is even a mural road. You can scan a QR code on the murals to get a map of all of them. Of course, on the way, I found a second-hand bookstore. We went into to browse and yeah, I ended up buying this art book about Caspar David Friedrich. He's a German painter and I really love his work. His work is mainly about landscape and I feel so inspired to see his paintings. It's really beautiful. After that, we visited the famous mannequin piece statue, and fun fact, there are actually two more pin statues in Brussels, one of a little girl and another of a dog. I have no idea why this city is so obsessed with the statues of things pin, but it's funny. Before heading to lunch and then to airport, we stopped by the Grand Place again to see it in daylight. And yeah, it's gorgeous. The buildings are massive and full of details and I just love it. So final thoughts about Brussels. I really enjoyed visiting the city, but honestly, I loved Ghent. I think if you are into nightlife like beer and bars, Brussels is great. But if you like walking around the city and exploring, especially medieval cities, you have to visit Ghent too. It's super close to Brussels and you can see everything in a day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this channel isn't focused on travel, it's more about my journey as an illustrator. But I love visiting new places and traveling inspires me. So I hope these videos about travel inspire you too. And see you in the next video, guys. Bye!